Hi, today I'm going to talk about how to send money back to your home country from China. There are four methods I'm going to talk about. The first one is using MoneyGram or Western Union. The second method is doing it by yourself, either in the bank or online. The third method is going to the bank with a friend, a Chinese friend. And the fourth method is taking the money back home on the plane. So let's talk about the first method using MoneyGram or Western Union. When you use MoneyGram or Western Union, you have to go to one of their branches, and at their branches they have their own rate of currency exchange. You change your money from Chinese money into English money or any other currency you want at their exchange rate. Obviously they're going to take a little bit of money from you when they exchange the money, so it might be better to go to another place and exchange first. Once you've exchanged this money into pounds or whatever, you can send it from that branch to another branch in another country of your choice, and then another person would go there and pick that up. You have to give some details of the person, like their name and their ID number or whatever, and then that's it. They will receive the money. So it's very simple. It only takes a few hours, but the fees of sending it are quite expensive. Not just the currency conversion fees, but the cost of sending it from one country to another. And there are limitations on MoneyGram. I'll just publish them here because it was on their website. Apparently, there are no limits on sending via Western Union. Scratch that. I just went to the Western Union website to check, and actually, I was wrong. There are limits on sending. Here they are. Okay, let's talk about the second method. This is you going to the bank and doing it yourself. Generally, the exchange rates in the banks are more favorable in China. So it's good to go to the bank and use their exchange rate. So usually when you go to the bank, what you have to do is you have to take a lot of documentation. And this includes your passport, you have to take your employment certificate, you have to take proof of taxation, so you can show that you've been paying the tax legally on the money you've earned. You also have to take your bank account information of the bank you want to send the money to, and the most important part of this information is something called the SWIFT code. Make sure you take your SWIFT code to the bank. It took me an hour to find my SWIFT code on the internet because my bank didn't readily publish it, which was really frustrating. But eventually I had to use some stupid website to calculate it for me. Anyway, make sure you have all this information if you wish to do it yourself. Then you can go to the bank, carry all this information, take it to the desk after you've waited for about an hour, and then talk to the people there. Tell them exactly what you want to do. It's better if you can speak Chinese, but some of them can now speak English, especially the young ones. Although they can speak English, their skill at working at the bank is absolutely terrible, and often because it's a complicated procedure sending money back, they will find any excuse they can to refuse you. You have to ignore it and you have to persevere and push through and say that you want to send this money home. The limit on sending this money is 50,000 US dollars per year, and that applies to you and Chinese people. So that's a big limit, you know. You can send quite a lot home in different intervals. When you're in the bank, one thing they may ask you for is an IBAN code. This is an international bank account number. Now, this is really frustrating because in actuality, my bank doesn't release an IBAN code for me, so I gave them the SWIFT code, which was hard to find in itself. So you don't really need the IBAN code, but it's better if you do bring it anyway. And they said that if you use an IBAN code, it goes directly to the bank account, but also a SWIFT code goes direct to the bank account as well. He told me that I would incur more charges if I used a SWIFT code instead of an IBAN code. However, I've used both in the past, and in actuality, the fees are exactly the same. 70 RMB, £7, so that's nothing to worry about. The fee is 70 RMB upon receipt in the UK because the bank likes to charge you 70 RMB for accepting the payment. That's all. It doesn't matter what code you use, they're still going to charge you for accepting the payment. So if they try and give you some helpful advice in the future, I recommend you just ignore it. My total expenditure for sending the money with a Chinese person was 200 from the Bank of China, and then plus 70 RMB in the UK when my bank received the money, which totals 270 RMB. The number I was quoted on the internet from sending it by myself was 410 RMB. So I did save 140 RMB and a whole lot of effort by going to the bank with a person. The fourth and final option is going home with the money on a plane. You can just go to the bank, convert the money into your currency, and take it home on the plane. You avoid any fees of sending the money from bank to a bank. There are some problems that may be incurred though. There is a limit of 10,000 euros if you take money outside of Europe into Europe, and you have to declare any money you have over that amount. However, if you stay under this limit, you should be fine. For me personally, it is a bit of a concern taking that much cash with me walking around London, so I like to be safe and transfer the money via a Chinese friend. Those are the 4 options that are commonly used in China to send money home. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to comment below.